Long before kingdoms fell and empires rose, there was a young dreamer, a boy whose faith would be tested in strange lands, whose character would shine in the deepest shadows, and whose story would shape generations. This is the story of Joseph in Potiphar's house. The desert wind howled across the dunes. Joseph walked at the center of an Ishmaelite caravan, hands tied, feet blistered, heart heavy. He had once roamed the hills of Canaan freely, wearing his coat of many colors, wrapped in the love of his father. Now he was dust-covered, chained, and sold. His own brothers had betrayed him. Their laughter still echoed in his mind. Here comes the dreamer. But even in heartbreak, Joseph lifted his eyes to the horizon. Above the shimmering sands, he felt a quiet assurance, a presence unseen. God was with him. Days turned into weeks. Then, like a vision rising from the heat waves, the magnificent structures of Egypt appeared. Massive stone gates, carved walls with hieroglyphs, statues towering like giants. Egypt, land of pharaohs, gods, and gold. Joseph had entered a world unlike anything he had ever known. He was placed on a wooden platform in the slave market, among others. The marketplace was loud, crowded, and harsh. But even in chains, Joseph stood straight, calm, composed, dignified. People noticed him. They saw something unusual, a noble spirit wrapped in humility. That's when Potiphar appeared. Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard, a man feared, respected, and obeyed. His armor was polished, his eyes sharp. Potiphar scanned the platform and stopped when he saw Joseph. Joseph didn't flinch. He didn't beg. He simply met Potiphar's gaze with quiet strength. Potiphar turned to the merchant. "How much for this Hebrew?" 20 pieces of silver, strong, intelligent, good character. Potiphar nodded. "I'll take him." And just like that, Joseph left the slave market, not knowing he had just stepped into a divine assignment. Potiphar's home was enormous, a palace within a palace. Tall palm trees swayed in the courtyard. Lotus flowers floated in marble pools. Halls lined with gold patterns glowed in the afternoon sun. Servants hurried respectfully through the corridors. Potiphar led him to a training yard. "You will begin with simple tasks. How you serve will determine your future here." Joseph bowed respectfully, and so began his life in Potiphar's house. Joseph was assigned small tasks at first, cleaning vessels, carrying water, sweeping courtyards. But Potiphar soon noticed Joseph worked differently. He worked with purpose, with joy, as if God himself watched. He never complained. He never slacked. He never fought. He was humble, yet confident. Quiet, yet wise. Gentle, yet strong. And everything Joseph touched prospered. Potiphar observed him from afar. He said to his steward, "There is something unusual about this boy." The steward replied, "Yes, master. The Hebrew, he carries favor." Potiphar had seen it too. Weeks turned into months. Joseph learned Egyptian customs, the language, the rhythm of the household. He served faithfully in every role. When a dispute broke out, Joseph resolved it. When tasks were overwhelming, Joseph organized them. Soon, Potiphar summoned him. "For months I have watched you. Your work is flawless. Your character unmatched. I am placing you over all the servants." Joseph bowed deeply. From then on, he became steward of the entire estate. He oversaw fields, finances, livestock, servants, everything. Under Joseph's management, the household prospered beyond anything Potiphar had ever seen. Egyptians whispered, "The Hebrew brings blessing." And Potiphar believed it. He was so confident in Joseph that the only thing he concerned himself with was the food he ate. But someone else was watching Joseph. Potiphar's wife. She was elegant, beautiful, and accustomed to admiration. But her heart was restless, empty despite her riches. She watched Joseph as he moved through the estate. His kindness, his strength, his confidence, his purity. She found herself drawn to him, not just by attraction, but by a desire for control. One day she approached him. "Joseph, come, lie with me." Joseph stepped back, his heart racing, not from desire, but from righteousness. He said, "My master trusts me with everything in his house. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" She frowned. She wasn't used to hearing a no. Over the next days, she approached him again and again, each time more persistent, more seductive, more manipulative. And each time, Joseph refused. His refusal was a shield of integrity, but it pierced her pride. Her admiration turned to resentment. Her resentment turned to rage. Her rage turned into a trap. One afternoon, Joseph entered the house to perform his duties. The servants were out. The halls were silent. Potiphar's wife stood waiting. She seized Joseph by his cloak, demanding, "Lie with me." Joseph twisted away. His cloak tore from his grasp. He fled the house, choosing righteousness over reputation, integrity over opportunity. She stared at the garment in her hands. Then she screamed. Servants rushed in. Guards gathered. She lied instantly. "The Hebrew slave tried to attack me." I screamed. He ran, and here is his cloak. By the time Potiphar returned, the story had spread like wildfire. His wife repeated the lie with tears and drama. Potiphar's anger burned. But perhaps somewhere in his heart, he knew Joseph was innocent. After all, if he truly believed Joseph had assaulted his wife, the punishment would have been death, not just prison. Still, for the sake of his reputation and the honor of his house, Joseph was thrown into the king's prison, the harshest in the land. Chains tightened around his wrists again. Darkness swallowed him. But even there, God was with him. The prison was cold, damp, and foul-smelling. Most prisoners wept or cursed or lost hope. But Joseph prayed. And even in this darkness, Joseph served. He comforted the distressed, shared his food, and kept order with wisdom. Soon, the warden noticed. "This Hebrew, he is different." The warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners. Just like in Potiphar's house, wherever Joseph went, peace followed. Whatever he oversaw ran well, because the Lord was with him. In the quiet hours of the night, Joseph reflected on his life. The pit, the betrayal, the dream, the sale, Potiphar's house, the false accusation, the prison. He cried sometimes, not from despair, but from longing for home, for his father, for freedom. And yet, through every tear, Joseph whispered, "God, I trust you." His trials forged him like fire forging gold. Temptation revealed his integrity. Betrayal strengthened his humility. Prison deepened his wisdom. He was no longer just Jacob's favored son. He was becoming a leader, a man of vision, patience, and God's kind of power. A man ready for what was to come next. Soon, two new prisoners entered his world, Pharaoh's chief baker and chief cupbearer. Joseph would serve them, listen to their dreams, and interpret them with divine insight. This single act would become the key that would unlock his prison door and place him one step closer to the throne of Egypt. But that is the next chapter of his incredible story. Joseph's time in Potiphar's house teaches us one of history's greatest lessons. Integrity may cost you everything in the short term, but it also positions you for everything God has prepared for you in the long run. His journey reminds us, you can be thrown down and still rise. You can be betrayed and still bless. You can be falsely accused and still be innocent. You can be imprisoned and still be favored. Because destiny is stronger than circumstance, and God's plan is stronger than man's injustice. Joseph's story is a promise. No matter where you are, no matter what you face, if you hold on to your integrity and your faith, God is with you. Thank you for watching. If this story encouraged you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the powerful truths of faith. See you next time.